Today, I'm with one of our members, Alok, who's had a great transformation. What was your life like before joining the program? What were you struggling with the most?
I'd say a few things. In the past, before I joined this program, I found that I was really struggling with trying to develop a regimen that worked well for me, because oftentimes I read things online that work well for other people, but as anybody can tell you, everybody's body is different. So it's a matter of finding something that works for you. For me, it was about developing upper body strength, gaining muscle mass. I wouldn't actually gain weight rather than lose weight, which was a big difference from all the things I'd read online. And for my personal journey, for me, it was about trying to develop upper body strength for sports, things like that I like to do, like taekwondo. That's something that I like to do on the side as well. Uh, and I found that was something that I was struggling with, which I found that through the program, I was able to really work on that.
Why did you decide to work with me?
That's a good question. I decided to work with you, Amir, was the reason was actually because I found that the coaches and personal trainers, well, the one that I tried in the past, wasn't really effective. I think the biggest reason that it wasn't effective was because the trainers I had worked with all just talked about what I should be doing in the gym, maybe a little bit about what I should do about my diet. And then I talked to nutritionists on the side, but there isn't really much integration between them. And I thought that was something that really stood out to me was we look at both the diet and we look at the regimen as well and try to make sure that they aligned well, like how much calorie intake I should be having. And yeah, that was the thing that really stood out to me is it really seemed really well aligned that way.
So, what was almost stopping you from joining the program?
Well, I have to say that when I was first looking into this, I wasn't too clear about how well this would work in an online setting because I wasn't doing the personal training per se. I was doing the coaching. So because I first saw that this is online, I was a little bit skeptical. I wasn't sure that can I really improve my body just from like watching videos, and that made me almost decide not to do it. And I suppose your follow-up question might be like, why did I decide to do it anyways? I found that even though it was online, because I was able to send in recordings of the way I do it on video, and I got feedback from you, that was really helpful for me to know that the way I'm doing exercises is appropriate. I'm not making huge errors, or I'm not doing something which is dangerous.
And what do you love about the workouts and the nutrition?
It's hard to say that because most people, when they are on a diet, are like, oh, I'll take it that way. About the workouts, the first thing that stood out to me was the fact that the workouts were sufficiently varied. I mean, there's a different group of exercises, and it targeted all the different parts of the body, upper body, lower body. And I found that cycling through different phases seemed to be effective in terms of at least helping me to gain more muscle mass and to not really get into a plateau or rut where I just end up putting on weight, but it would be mostly just fat or something. And then I guess that goes along with the nutrition. As with the nutrition, I'd know like for every change in the phase, how much calories I should be taking in. That was something that I was really unsure about earlier. Is am I actually eating like too much? Am I eating or am I eating not enough for how much I'm working out? And I found that knowing that I could eat more without putting on too much fat was useful for me now. Yeah.
What kind of results have you got so far?
Initially, when I started off, I think I was about 10, yeah, almost 10 pounds later than I am now. And that was a big win for me is I was able to put on about 10 pounds of muscle, and that was a big win for me. And also a little bit of posture improvement. That was also helpful.
What was the biggest value that you got, but you weren't expecting?
The biggest value that I got was having a good regimen for how often I should be working out, with the kind of exercise I should be doing, how many reps I should be doing of each, how often I should be increasing. These are all these kind of things that, I mean, everybody has their own idea about, but nobody really consolidates all this information you can find online. Like you can talk to one trainer, they'll tell you one thing, you can talk to somebody else, they'll tell you something else. What I found was that instead of having to go online and find something that works, I have like this personalized feedback, and that tied in well with how much I was getting in terms of nutrition already. That was something that I didn't really expect. The other thing I also mentioned already is I guess the posture. That was something which I was sort of hoping might come out, but I wasn't sure because it was kind of a secondary goal of mine.
And was the investment worth it for you?
I definitely think that the investment was worth it for me in so much, not in so much as trying to reach all of my goals, but more so trying to gain an understanding of how I can reach my goals. So like I can do that going forward. When I start off, well, I wasn't sure, but I kind of knew that what I want to achieve in terms of gaining muscle mass is, and we've talked about this like a few times, is like a long-term journey. It takes years and years. What I did want to know is how can I do things properly to get started? How can I keep going forward by myself so that I don't have to keep going back to trainers again and again and again?
And who would you recommend this program to?
I recommend it to anybody who's willing to be committed, which means I guess different things for different people because everybody has their own goals. Pretty much you have to be willing to the time to put in 3 workouts a week, be able to change some things about your diet, and be open to feedback from Amir and other people in the program on how to improve. Because if you don't keep an open mind and you just stick to what you're doing before, you're not going to get anywhere with it. So that's something that I'd say that you really need to have going into the program.